name's Scott. Today I'm going to be doing a review on two of the new icon vape atomizers which I received from www.safercigs.co.uk. Before I start though, I must point out I did receive them free of charge for the purpose of conducting a review. In my opinion, the products remain true, honest and accurate as always. Okay, so they sent me out two atomizers. One is the IKV 510 XLR, which is basically like a low resistance 510 atomizer. And the other one is a IKV IO6, which is their version of a low resistance 306 atomizer. Excuse me. Okay, so it's been many months since I've actually used just like a regular sort of 510 atomizer. So I do tend to mainly use like repairable atomizers these days, or if I'm not using one of those, then I'll be using like a cartomizer sort of tank system. So I've not got any sort of cartridges or anything like that, so I am having to sort of go back to the dark ages and direct drip. So that's what I'm going to be doing right now. So I've got myself my favourite 18mg strength PG based tobacco e-liquid. I'm just going to add about sort of 4 or 5 drops. Now these atomizers are available in, I think it's 3 different resistances. They are 1.5, 1.8 and it's either 2 or 2.2, can't quite remember. And the ones they sent out are the 1.8 ohms. I should also point out that I'm just using this at 3.7 volts because you know, even though it's a low voltage, you know, it works really well. As you see, like vapour-wise, the actual vapour production you're getting out of it, even at the low voltage, just like a regular sort of PG based e-liquid, the amount of vapour is excellent. And flavour wise, again, like the flavour production, you know, again is absolutely excellent. You know, I'm using my favourite sort of Titan tobacco flavour here, and it's just the amount of flavour that's coming out of it. It's just, you know, really top notch. You know, you just can't grumble about it at all. And throat hit wise, you're getting that nice strong kick in the back of the throat. Now I suppose really the question is, you know, how do they actually sort of compare to any other sort of 510 low resistance atomizer? Now, but you have to bear in mind it's been many months since I actually used one of those, and so my memory of it is a little bit sort of hazy. And I haven't actually, unfortunately, got any that I can find in the house anyway to sort of give a bit of a sort of direct comparison. But what I can say though is that no, I did always used to use the Joytech ones, and I never had any sort of issues with the amount of vapour they produced, or the amount of flavour that you got out of them, or the amount of sort of throat hit. No, I found those ones to be excellent as well. And these ones, you know, I can't really see a massive amount of difference, but what I can say though is that, you know, for vapour production, the vapour is absolutely excellent. The flavour is excellent, and for the throat hit, you're getting a very nice, strong kick in the back of the throat. So the Icon Vape ones, you know, certainly do tick all the boxes. Now, and apart from having a sort of like no direct drip, which is something I've never been a big fan of direct dripping, even when people first started doing it. I found it to be a bit of a pain in the backside. But you know, apart from that, you know, it's been very enjoyable to vape on. And like I said, you know, especially like with regards, obviously it's always nice to get a really nice amount of vapour, but you know, when you get sort of really tons and tons of flavour come through as well, and it's always an added bonus. And you know, like they seem to be pretty reasonably priced as well. I think they're either £6 or £6.50. You know, so they're not exactly sort of charging you miles extra compared to other sort of low resistance atomizers. You know, so if you fancy something a little bit different to your normal sort of setup, you know, it's well worth a punt really. Okay, well there's not much else I can tell you about it, you know, so I'll get onto the IO6. Let's do that there. Now I've got, well, not a massive collection, but I've got a collection of sort of 306 drip tips, and you know, I've got them sort of from various sort of suppliers and manufacturers, and some are made out of plastic, some are made out of glass as well. Not one of them will fit over this IO6, so the IO6 just seems to be a fraction too big. So it means the only thing I can use with it is this sort of epoxy horrible mouthpiece that sort of comes with it really. So I'm going to sort of direct drip again, but then use this thing, which is a bit annoying, but you know, there you go. I did notice on the Safer Cigs website just before I started recording that they do actually have a specific sort of 306 drip tip for the IO6. You know, if you do like your 30, or if you do like these, or if you do fancy trying one of these Atomisers, probably the best thing to say, then it probably is going to be worth your while getting one of those drip tips as well. And I'll explain why in a second. Okay, so I've added about 6 or 7 drops onto this. It's the same voltage and the same e-liquid. You know, once again, you can see the amount of vapour you're getting out of it is excellent. Now, I've only had 2 drags here, and already the base of that atomizer is so hot I could probably fry an egg on that. And obviously, you know, when you've got that close to your mouth, you can really feel the heat sort of searing into your lip. It's not so bad if you take nice little sort of short drags, but no matter what I vape, no matter what voltage or resistance, I always tend to take exactly the sort of same really nice long inhales. And so obviously, the longer you hold that button down, the hotter that atomizer is going to get, and the more heat you're going to feel in your lip. So this is where like having another drip tip would be really handy, really, and it has sort of like tainted the experience a little bit, because every time you want to have a nice long drag, you know, you're getting that horrible sort of burnt, well not burnt, well scorching effect on your lips, which is not the most pleasant experience, but you know, vapour-wise, you can't fault it. So hot. And the other thing is that like probably because of the extra heat, like you go through so much juice when you're using this 306 one compared to the 510 one. With that 510 one, if I had sort of 6 drops, I can probably get, I don't know, maybe sort of 7 or 8 sort of really good, nice, long, sort of deep inhales before I need to sort of top up again. With this one, I'm adding sort of 7 drops, and I'm getting about sort of, well, really sort of 2 proper full drags. On the third one, you can just sort of feel the flavour start to dip right at the end there, and so you need to sort of top up again. So you know, they are definitely juice monsters. Excuse my belly, there's rumbling. So again, like I'm gonna have to add about another good 7 drops onto that. But you know, like once you have added your drops and you have a nice vape, then like you know, the vapour production is excellent, and the flavour and the throw hit is excellent too. You know, they really are fantastic for the amount of flavour you're getting out of it. And you know, really, there's not a massive difference between this IO6 and the 510 I was just using prior to it. You know, both of them produce excellent amounts of vapour, flavour, and throat hit. So for me, out of the 2, like personally, I much prefer the 510, only because really, you know, I can put a nice drip tip on there. I'm getting all that flavour, throat hit and vapour, but without all that sort of burning sensation on my lips. Whereas if I had a nice drip tip on here, you know, it'd be very hard to sort of, you know, decide what one I prefer out of the 2 really, because obviously they both perform the same. It's just that this one gets so hot and goes through so much juice. But it's not so much the juice factor that bothers me, but obviously the heat from the having to use this little sort of generic sort of mouthpiece cap thing. You know, it just sort of tainted the experience a little bit really. But like I said, that's not knocking its performance. Performance-wise, it's excellent. If you can get a drip tip to fit then like, you know, you're good to go really. Not a lot else I can really sort of say about them. They're just sort of atomisers at the end of the day, you know. So if you fancy trying them out for yourself, go along to www.safercigs.co.uk. Thank you very much for watching, and also come along and visit my website at www.e-cig-reviews.com. That's e-cig-reviews.com. Cheers guys, happy vaping, see you later.